Wiley for Secretary of State.
Hey guys, thanks so much for having me here today. I'm really excited to be able to speak to you, to be able to share the message about free and fair elections that I'm bringing to Colorado in 2026. We believe that 2026 is the year that we're going to take back the state of Colorado. We have the momentum. We've seen the progress in 2024. We just need to push that pendulum as hard as we can and get it towards a victory. My name is James Wiley. I'm running for Secretary of State. I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for your money as well. Yes, I've got envelopes here and back there. I'll be handing those out today. You could also donate online at wileyforcolorado.com. That's WILEYFOR Colorado.com. In Colorado, we have obviously been experiencing an increase in tyranny and oppression of liberty. And so how is that going to be overturned? We've seen the blueprint laid out by the Democrats on how they took the state away from us. But we're going to have to use a unique method, learning from their successes, but also understanding the changes in the landscape that have taken place. We're seeing that the coalition put together by the Democrats almost 20 years ago now is falling apart. For example, Log Cabins Republicans exists. That's a great sign. It means that, to be blunt, being gay doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically a Democrat. And at the time that the coalition was put in place to take over the state of Colorado, that was the situation. So seeing that that coalition is breaking apart, the unions also abandoning the left, we're going to also see maybe even the environmentalists recognizing that the upkeep of our state, the maintenance of our state is necessarily a conservative position to conserve the environment. That is a Republican position. We want to preserve our environment, ensure that agriculture is successful and sustainable and can continue to feed our families for generations to come. So we've got that element coming for us as well. We've got the weakness of the left in their division within the socialist camp and the mainstream establishment camp of the Democrat Party. What we're seeing there is while the socialists focused on 5 races, they managed to win 3. And with those 3 victories, they took Secretary of State, Amanda Gonzalez, the clerk out of Jefferson County, socialist endorsed candidate. Of course, died to get lost here in Denver, a socialist uprising. And then we had Phil Weiser, the socialist favorite, establishment was against him, lose. And so we're seeing that far left movement of the Democrat Party, which gives us an opening, the reasonable middle. And we need to recognize that opportunity and take that opportunity to be as reasonable as possible, to broaden our message, to create a big tent, to increase the size of our coalition beyond that 51%. And given they still use voting machines, maybe 55 or 60% would be better to give us a little bit of a margin there. Yes, we need to improve our elections because the elections, while we need to win this one cycle with overwhelming force and grassroots initiative, and we can do that, and we will do that, just like the Democrats managed to do in their primary, we can do that in the general. And once we do that, we can take back our elections and ensure that for all time we have free and fair processes by that overwhelming victory this one time. That process will be one day, a holiday, in person with voter ID, paper ballot, and hand counts. Those 5 principles, built on a improved voter roll system, of course, is what's necessary to get us back to being the Americans that we used to being peaceful in our political discourse, to repairing the relationships between friends, neighbors, colleagues, family members, which has been damaged and destroyed by the toxicity within our political environment over the last decade, over the last several decades, since we began to make innovations and improvements which have really created more divisiveness within our political processes, within the democratic processes, specifically the elections, the tabulation, the mail-in ballots, the compromises to the voter rolls through automatic voter registration. These changes made for the sake of convenience and expediency have unfortunately cost us security, cost us our confidence, and increased the doubt that has been sown into the political process, accusations of cheating on both sides. In 2020, it might have been Trump making those accusations. We know in 2016, there was Hillary Clinton making those accusations. And let's roll back a little ways further. What about Al Gore? George Bush hanging chads, Florida recounts, Jeb Bush being George Bush's brother, being the governor of Florida at the time. All right, we got a few things to discuss that are on both sides of the aisle. And we know that after one election, they just, one side will quiet down and the other side rise up in concern about the quality of our elections. And we need to stop going back and forth. We need to recognize that the person who suffers the most, the person who loses the most in that environment where we only sometimes care about integrity, is the American. Particularly the future American who will inherit nothing. None of the freedoms that we inherited will be passed down unless we secure that rebalancing method, that mechanism of our constitutional republic, which has democratic processes. We're not a democracy. I knew you'd love that. Thanks. So that's the pathway to victory. That's the pathway, also the ballot initiatives, making sure that we're supporting those with every ounce of our being, and all the down ballot candidates, we're all counting on the success of those ballot initiatives to help form coalition and to ensure conservative victory in the state of Colorado in 2026. I don't know, I guess I could wait till next decade. How about you guys? Not that bad. Well, you're in Denver, so you know exactly how bad it is. And I'm not patient. I know you're not patient. Let's make this change happen this year. Please go to wileyforcolorado.com. Please make those donations. Thank you so much for your time and your support. Yeah. I'll take one quick question, yeah?
Yeah, I have a quick question. I'm wondering if you'll be able to get a hold of some concrete data to use in your campaign. And I bring it up because of something that's happened personally to me. And that is, I have not been registered to vote in this state for, I think, 6 years. For 6 years, I've been getting ballots sent to me. I want to know if you can find the data of how often that happens. Because I moved to Florida to get away from all this shit, to be honest with you. And I still get ballots. Now, a couple years ago, I was on a road trip up in the mountains with some friends. 2 of them have green cards. We were talking about elections. I said, well, what do you think about this, that, or the other? It came up, they too got ballots in the mail. How many green card holders, how many illegals, how many people like me who are not registered for years are still getting ballots? And they talk about secure elections in this state? Excuse me. So do you have specific data like that that you can start informing the public about?
No, but on behalf of Jenna Griswold, I want to let you know that we do have the gold standard of elections in Colorado, and you have nothing to worry about. And what you actually experienced was a dream. I'm sorry. I apologize because I hear that every time I speak. That same story. That same story. And I'm so glad it's recorded because otherwise people wouldn't believe me either, that I hear it so often. And the fact that people who haven't yet become citizens of this country, or people who are no longer citizens of Colorado, or maybe people who were never citizens of Colorado that live overseas, according to the recent lawsuit against Jenna Griswold by by Jeff and Judicial Watch. That was won by Jeff Crank in CD5, and the Republican National Committee kind of got together and went after Jenna. Beautiful lawsuit there. But basically what's happening is people who've never lived in Colorado can vote here from China or wherever else. Yeah, please.
I never send them back. I keep them in a drawer as proof. So I don't know how many don't throw them away. That's the problem.
You should make that into an art piece.
Well, let me ask you this. You seem like a moral person. You seem like an ethical person from what you've described. At least the way that you treat those ballots in that one instance, I would attribute to you good character and high morality. But the suspicion is in all of our minds. What about the other people who receive those same ballots? And automatically in my mind is, I bet they're tempted. I bet they cheat. And what if that person's my cousin or my neighbor or my coworker? Then I'm undermining my perception of their morality, their character, and I'm degrading their humanity. And what process does that end up in? The degrading of another's humanity? Unfortunately, genocide and all kinds of catastrophe within the history of humanity. So we need to recognize the peril of this dehumanization process we've initiated through these accusations of failed character on the other side. because the opportunity is there. And it's possible the machines work, and it's possible nobody cheats with those mail-in ballots. Is it probable? No. Because when you have the keys to the kingdom, the keys to the nuclear codes, literally, for the most powerful country in the world, in history, it's not probable that somebody wouldn't try to take that. And when you have it on a silver plate like that, then somebody is taking it. Now, we need to go back to the way it was before, when we had a consensus agreement in the method of the recount, of the counts themselves. And in that consensus, the accusations can disappear, and we can peacefully go back home after the election. And we lose or win, doesn't matter. There's next time. But the Republic is safe for another 250 years. That's good. Thanks for your question. Appreciate it.